All right, YouTube gang, let's get into the multi-reticle Osight C Green Dot with the new side loading battery. Amazing. They came out with it. First, they came out with the red one. Now we have the green right here, and we're going to go over some details. And I'm going to make this a little bit faster, of course, because we already went over the red dot model. So it's pretty much the same thing with some very subtle differences. So let's look at the box real quick. You have the Osight C box right here. All right. Always nice. Gotta love their boxes, man. These guys do such a great job. And I really appreciate the opportunity working with them because they're extremely prompt. You know, their word is their bond when it comes to certain things, and they just take care of business. So let's go ahead and open the box up. And of course, you have your Osight sticker right there. You have your zeroing instructions for the Osight C right there. And on the other side, it's installing the Osight C, and it gives you some detailed information with a little scan code right here, quick start guide, okay? That's it. And you have thank you for being part of the team. They add this in pretty much all of their boxes. I think that's pretty awesome. All right, and look at this. Wow. They give you a rubberized cover with this. Look at that. And you can keep this. So what oh yeah, because it has a cutout for the back for your iron sights. Usually that's a problem. I have to cut it. But with this, you don't have to. So hold on to these guys, because if you hold on to these, when you put them and mount them on your gun, you can go ahead and cover that up. So when you're out at the range, you don't get scratches or anything like that on your optic. So yeah, they give you this. Man, they just, these guys, real deal. Okay, that's it right there. That's your optic. Beautiful, beautiful optic. Look at that. All right, let's go ahead and see what else is inside the box. Right here. All right, here we go. Have a little tab right there, side tab. It looks like they did it different that time. I don't remember doing it that way. Okay, you have your tool right here, and it has a skeleton face on it. Pretty dope. Spare battery compartment screws. You have that right there, extremely important. And we'll show you, I believe that screw, let's open it up and see. I think that's the screw for let's look at yeah, you see them? So that's it right there. And it looks like those are for your battery tray right there. So pretty cool. And instead of adding one, now they add two. So let's look at the screws here. Same old when it comes to this, guys. So right there, you have your measurements. You can see them, and we'll open up each one. And these trays are detachable right here. Same thing. So you have your long screws on the left right here, and on the right, you have your short screws for that extraction channel. So they give you everything you need when it comes to that. Next up, we have the user manual right here. And of course, you have every single thing you need to know about the optic in this manual. I mean, it's all in here, guys. I'm not going to go over it. And they give you a microfiber cloth. Very important so you don't scratch your lens. Now let's look at this optic once again. And of course, such a beautiful design. I mean, that design is it's just beautiful. Side loading tray right there. And we're going to go over all the full details with this. And I really appreciate that they made this design different from the previous models. They made it a little bit shorter and a little bit wider there at the top, and I like that. Let's look at the dimensions real quick. Once again, they have the open emitter right here. So just be very careful on what gets inside by that emitter right there, because you don't want any type of debris to get in there and obstruct that. And it can just look real funky, you know, in your dot. You have fragmentations and starbursting, so it's not a good thing. Let's go ahead and weigh this dot. Of course, this is going to weigh the same exact amount as the multi-reticle red one that I weighed before. So let's go ahead and look at it. All right, so it's set to 0, and of course it has the battery in the inside. So that's going to add to the weight of this optic right here. It's already in there. So let's go ahead and weigh it, and it's coming in at 1.4 ounces. 1.4 ounces. All right, so the optic material, of course, is 70-75 aluminum. Nothing has changed with that at all, and It is waterproof, IPX6 rated waterproof, and you'll see that on the screen right now. Of course, this one has the coating on the window right there, and you can see that, you know, when I turn it in different directions right there. So that helps with the glare, of course, and they always implement this in a lot of their optics. Let's look at the windage and elevation on this optic right here. So right here, you have your elevation, which is up and down, and you can see that right there. And right here, you have your windage, which is left and right. These are 1 MOA per click, so keep that in mind. Once again, they went ahead and blacked out the branding right here, or the fonts. And of course, I think they're going to be doing this with all of their models, so that's highly appreciated. Now let's play with this thing. Let's go ahead and open up the battery tray right here. So this is the screw for the battery tray, very, very small. So you're going to have to use a flat head for this, a very small flat head. And I'm sure they have it with that tool. You have that flat head that you can use. We'll unscrew it. It has a little tab right here. And this is used so it doesn't drain your battery, you know, for the longevity of it sitting up, not being purchased. And then also when it's being sent to you, it won't use that battery life. So here goes the screw right here. And I almost freaking lost the screw. It's small. That's why they give you 2 more. So that's it. Very small. Let's go ahead and pull that tray out. And be careful when you do this because you can scratch that tray. So kind of lift it up like that. We'll open this tray up and there's your battery right here. Let's take this out. That's right there. And then let's look at this battery and see what type of battery this is. This is a Panasonic right here. And this is a CR1632 battery. CR1632 battery. And you can find these on Amazon all day. All right, so let's go ahead and put it right in. Set it down in that tray. Let's make sure that green dot comes on. Yes, and that thing is nice and bright. And I don't know, I already lost my screw. Here it is right here. All right. Man, they are getting better and better at making these optics. And I think the reason why is because they really, really listen to their customer base. And if it's improvements that they need to make, they do it. And you can tell because each model that comes out, it gets better and better. So I tighten that on up. And let's look at that dot real quick. And there it is. And I wonder what dot this is. Oh, that's the circle dot reticle. So let's change that. And I just want to change that to the dot reticle. And there it is right there. So nice and bright. Once again, they also didn't put a light sensor in the front right here at all. And they removed the battery indicator, which is in between the plus and the minus sign. So if you press down on it, you don't see any color right here kind of illuminating up under that rubber. They took that away. That would have been cool if they would have kept that. Now you can turn this optic on by simply pressing or tapping the plus button right here or the minus button, either one. So if you hit the plus button, you just tap it, boom, it turns your dot right on. If you turn it off, we can turn it right back on with the minus button right here by just simply tapping it, and you'll see that green dot right there. And of course, I'm sure you've seen how I turned the green dot off. So all you do is hold down on the plus and minus button simultaneously for a couple of seconds until you see it turn off just like that. Now let's look at the reticles right here, and you can switch the reticles by holding down the minus button right here for a couple of seconds. So let's go ahead and turn it back on. There's your dot. So right here, this is the dot that's showing, okay? This is your 3 MOA dot that's showing right now. Now let's go to the next reticle. By holding this down right here, you'll see it change. And this right here is, it looks like it's the circle reticle. And that thing is brighter than damn ever, man. Circle reticle, very nice. Next up, let's hold down on the minus button right here to change it and see what the next one is. I think it's like 3 to 4 seconds. You'll see it change right here. And this is your circle and dot reticle. Your circle and dot reticle is right there. And of course it has a distortion, so you can't really see it, but it is very, very visible and very, very clear. You do have a motion detection on the Osight C optic, and it turns off automatically after 3 minutes of inactivity when its motion sensing feature is enabled. Once again, they also have Osight Picatinny riser mounts that you can purchase online for these, which makes it look really cool. Now, if you're kind of confused on what optic or reticle color you want to go with, I'm gonna give you some information just so you can ponder on it and make a decision, okay? So basically green dots, and I'm sure you probably heard this before. Green dots help enhance certain things with your optics. So let's talk about visibility. It stands out better in bright daylight and against green/brown backgrounds. Astigmatisms, often easier for those with astigmatisms to see clearly. So that's really, really important. And then as far as battery and battery life, generally uses more power, resulting in shorter battery life compared to red dots. So that's something you need to know. Now, if you're talking about red dots and some of the advantages that it may have, as far as visibility, it's excellent in low light conditions and against dark backgrounds. Red dots are great for that. As far as battery life, it typically offers longer battery life with a red dot because of that color. And also, when you look at cost, you will usually find the red dot optics being a little bit more cost effective or cheaper than a green dot. Now we're gonna see real quick what this looks like on my firearm of choice. All right, so here's the setup of my choice. And of course, I'm gonna go ahead and take it off this 380 right here, which is the Glock 28 right here. And these things were extremely hard to find. I mean, I had to search high and wide for this gun right here, guys. So the lower frame, I don't too much care for, but they're not that bad to shoot. I actually got it out at the range. It's good for concealment. It's not that bad to shoot, but I prefer a longer grip right here. So I'm gonna take it off. We'll make sure this is not loaded right here. I'm gonna take it off of this 380 right here. And of course, I ended up getting this milled right here at the Glock store because these do not come milled, and they did a nice cut. So I did the RMR footprint on this right here. So this is gonna go on my M1X right here. And this has the 9mm slide on it already. So let's go ahead, take that off. And we're gonna put that right on this frame right here. So it's gonna look really, really good when it's all said and done. So let's make sure that guide rod is pushed all the way up or it won't fit flush, you know, on the gun right here. And there it is. So I'll move this right here to the side. There it is right there, man. And that'll be my 380 setup going forward. So very, very nice. This will be interchangeable. I have the Coyote color, or if you want to call it FDE M1X Glock 26 also. I have that frame, and be on the lookout for that video too. But this is it. So this is what I'll be running out there at the range. So I'll give you guys a report and see how awesome it is. But let's go ahead real quick and let's get some shots on this Osight C. All right, so I've been out here testing this out, and once again, they continue to innovate. They continue to make great optics. This is the deal, guys. You can try to shit on Osight as much as you want, but the truth of the matter is, Holosun at one point was not reputable, like a big brand where they came out and people really trusted them. It took time for people to trust them. And Osight is making the same strides. And as I said before, the ones that I have are holding zero. They're holding up. I haven't had any of them crack yet. So let's see how it does on this 380. Nice. Feels so good out here today. Just came out of that ice storm in Nashville, 7 days, no electricity. So I'm out here just having a blast. Let's go. Let's see if this thing is really what it's all about, what it's cracked up to be. Yeah. Yeah. Nice, man. Osight. And just think, they're gonna be dropping even more for 2026. Let me heighten up the green dot so you can see it right here in the frame, and you can see it right there in the frame. This thing is bright even during the daylight time, so works great, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close on this video, guys. I told you it wasn't gonna be a long video because it's pretty much the same thing as the red multi-reticle Osight C that had came out. So as far as everything else, like I said before, I wish they would just implement, if they're gonna do like the green dots like this, I just wish they would implement and also offer the red dot and green dot all in one optic, and then have your green come out first or your red come out first, or either all of them, which would be great. So let me know what you think in a comment section below. You can see that emitter right there, nice and bright. They really did a good job like that. And remember,
I'm not from this planet.